Hello YouTubers, Monkey Jr. here, and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Monday. By request, the gun featured in today's episode will be the AK-12, which is an assault rifle for the assault class. It is the basic unlock for the assault. As soon as you get in the game, you're going to be able to use this gun if you play as an assault. Being as it is the first gun that you get, I haven't used this gun before the video in ages, probably since Battlefield 4 came out. And obviously it is a gun based on the AK platform. It says in the name, AK-12. It is the most recent entry into the gun line, if we can say so. It is a Russian gun, and I find that it is one of the coolest looking gun platforms, and probably like one of the coolest weapons in Battlefield 4. Moving on to the stats of the weapon, it does a max damage of 24.5 and a minimum damage of 18, which is the standard assault rifle damage model. The drop-off starts at 12.5 meters and ends at 60 meters. It has a fire rate of 650 RPM, and if you use it on burst mode, it actually fires faster at 750 RPM. But I find that the burst fire mode in Battlefield 4 isn't the most effective, because first of all, getting headshots isn't that easy in Battlefield because there's so many people everywhere. Most of the time it's very chaotic. And the second part being, as using a burst fire weapon, the first shot recoil mechanic is actually applied to the last shot of the burst. So if you're like spam firing a burst fire weapon, you're actually going to be hurting your accuracy quite a bit, and your gun's going to be kicking around everywhere, and you're not going to have a hard time tracking moving targets or any target at all. But of course, if you can manage to get the burst off in their head, seeing as the headshot multiplier is actually 2.13 times the damage of the bullet, you're going to be able to like kill an enemy instantly. But if you're spam firing the weapon, you're not going to be like doing any good. And of course, using the weapon in its fully automatic fire mode is substantially better because you can control how many bullets you're tap firing or whatever. The muzzle velocity is 600 meters per second, and suppressed it's 340 meters per second. It's got 31 bullets in the mag. The short reload for the AK-12 is 2.3 seconds, which is decent. The long reload is going to take you a massive 3.2 seconds, which is a lot of time. So you're going to have to plan your long reloads a lot better than you would with faster reloading weapons. It has a recoil up of 0.3. Recoil left of 0.17 and recoil right of 0.12. So the recoil pattern on this gun is actually pretty manageable, and it shoots really good. For the gun I haven't used in like ages, I was actually doing pretty good with it, and I found that it was really accurate. Although it does have a first shot multiplier of 2.1, so it's kind of the weapon that you're going to want to more shoot in fully automatic fire and not really burst fire, because that first shot multiplier is actually going to kill your accuracy a lot. The stock version of this weapon is actually pretty decent. The iron sights are better than most of the iron sights on the assault rifles. I mean, the front ramp of the sights is actually pretty good. It's really thin, so you can actually see your target more than with some of the other iron sights, which have a huge front ramp and just blocks all your targets. And you can actually see your enemies at longer ranges than you would with like last week's gun, the FAMAS, which was freaking terrible iron sights on that gun. So you can actually do pretty good. But you just got to be careful, because using this gun in like closer range combat, you're actually going to be at a disadvantage, because most people are probably going to be using something like the AK, the FAMAS, something with a really higher rate of fire than what you're using, and they have the same damage model as you, so they're going to be putting out a lot more damage per second than you are. So that's going to be a disadvantage for you. So how you're going to want to play using this weapon is actually staying back a little bit more and being more of a support role to your team, as well as reviving, because obviously medic, the most useful thing of being an assault is the medic pag and the shock paddles, and just like pick off enemies at a longer range, because you're going to have the capacity to do so with this rifle. And I mean, it's so damn accurate that you're just going to have a field day picking off enemies. Moving on to the attachment part of the video for the AK-12, I just throw on the Coyote red dot sight. But seeing as it is a rifle that's a lot more accurate than most of the other assault rifles and a lot less recoil, like I said earlier, you could probably make a lot of use out of using a 3.4 times or 4 times optic on this weapon because of the accuracy of the gun. I just throw this on because I'm more of an aggressive player, but as somebody who wants to stick around like in the backfields a little bit more and support, it could actually make a lot of use out of like the longer magnification sights. For the accessories, I just put a laser sight on. I use the green one just because I find it looks pretty damn cool. But in addition to what I said earlier, like if you want to use this gun for longer ranges, you could like slap on a 2x magnifier on here. That would, like, you wouldn't have to have the 4x optic on all the time, but you would have that option to zoom in to twice as much than your Coyote red dot sight. So that would be a pretty good option for this weapon. For the barrel, I don't throw anything on here. I find it performs just fine the way it is, and it doesn't have much recoil, so you don't really have to put something to compensate for the recoil. And for the attachment, I use it in full auto most of the time, maybe tap firing every now and then, but I put the stubby grip. Finishing off the video on some domination on Goldman Railway, you can actually do really well with this weapon because you have so much possible covers to use in Goldman Railway, like before everything is blown to shit when the match goes on and on after a while. Just because you can kill the campers like on the roof that are a lot further away due to its slow rate of fire and high accuracy. And I was actually doing pretty good with it, a lot better than obviously using stock. I was getting headshots off on people that I could hardly even see their head, and I didn't need to use that many bullets to actually take them out. Obviously, I had to change my playstyle just a little bit because I'm usually a lot more aggressive than I was in this particular match because of my restrictions with this gun. I mean, it's a good all-around gun, but it's not really good at like close quarters like I usually play. I really play aggressively and I'm always up in their faces, so this isn't like the type of weapon that you're going to want to use for this kind of situation. I love using this weapon because of like authentic feel of the AK platform of weapons. It just feels so cool to use and you feel like you're just freaking badass with that kind of weapon. I would love to see the wooden version of the AK actually put in Battlefield. That would be awesome, kind of like the RPK for the support class. That would be awesome. That would be freaking cool as shit. But yeah, that's about it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this gun. Also, tell me which gun you would like to see featured in the next episode of Bare Bones Monday. You can also send me a Facebook or Twitter message. Like, subscribe, share. That always helps me out a lot. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until the next video, have a good one and take it easy.